Shalom, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, who are teaching us truth and sincerity. And shout out to Yakim and Yahweh, they're doing the work. Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash, Barakatham. So anyhow, this is about stumbling blocks or just people that ain't, that may appear to be in the truth, but yet may not, You can end up wasting a lot of time on, you got to see if they have the spirit to receive. And that's dealing with either an Edomite or a 2/3, or in essence, the person ends up being an Edomite anyways. I mean, I've had that happen in my case many times, because you know how it is that you run into someone and they, one of the greatest ones is claiming to be Native American, they'll say, oh, well, I can prove my Native American heritage, I get these benefits from the tribe, and you welcome this person. But then they come at you with all these Edomite philosophies, and sometimes, you treat it, okay, well, this is just a 2/3, this ain't meant for them. So you don't really waste a lot of time on them, but you might say a few things that you may not have said if you knew the person was an Edomite. But then you come to find out the person's an Edomite all along. Again, a 2/3 and an Edomite are almost the same thing. And the same thing goes, whether, this person be Chinese, Japanese, Ammon or Moab. A lot of times, man, they'll try to claim to be something else because they don't want to really identify themselves as Esau, right? Because they really do want to hang out with you. You've been a friend of theirs for a long time, and they just really don't want to come out with it. Well, anyhow, getting to the subject, though, there are stumbling blocks out there, and, well, that's why most of us don't even do Facebook or Twitter or the other one. What's that other one? The one with the pictures. I can't think of it right now. Some of us have them, but, it's just, you wouldn't put stuff like this on there anyways because, we're already standing out there when we go on the streets and teach anyways. So you really wouldn't want to put all this on the social media. I had to learn that earlier when I started getting into this truth. So anyhow, stumbling blocks, they're out there, and this brother goes into it.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Recha, Hakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone. Shalom to the elect. Peace unto you elect, laboring in sincerity and truth. Okay, and that's the point, part of the point of this lesson. I don't normally do videos like this, but the Spirit has it, and I'm going to read a comment that also shows that some brothers, novice is not a bad word, okay? Just don't quite understand it at the point, being in the truth, okay? And, this social media can be a crutch, or let me say, be a stumbling block to a lot of brothers that's in the truth, okay? I've seen it literally destroy brothers, okay? Reputation, or men's reputations, it just people in general. The social media is a crutch, and you have to be seasoned in this thing to know how to deal and link with social media and a brotherhood, okay? And some brothers don't have it. Some brothers want to get there very fast without taking their time and getting to know anyone. And I'll say this, if you're a brother and you're in a camp far off and you know nothing about someone, okay, it's probably not a good idea to use social media to try to get to know them, okay? Some things are for some brothers, some things ain't, but I'm saying in general, it's probably not a good idea, especially if you're a younger brother in the truth, in the faith, okay? I found out in my time of the walk that there's people that I've gotten to know even over social media, that turned out not to be who I thought they were. Okay, and that comes with experience, and that's why you should always seek wise counsel instead of trying to do things on your own. Okay, and the wise counsel is the counsel of the Lord. So I'll read this thing. I scratched out the name. There's a guy that he's left, this camp, and he's out doing his thing, and that's fine. Okay. Let me say that there's some people who are not into camps or whatever your case is. Social media is still a crutch. That's the whole point of this lesson. It's still a crutch. And the body, camps are good because camps help you correct one another when you go off. Who else is going to do it? A lot of people solely thinking that the Most High, the Spirit of the Most High, is just going to constantly come in and correct them. But you are corrected through men. Okay? Anyway, this is so a brother sent it to me. I would have never known that this was even existed. I don't get into the social media personally. It says, shout out to my Akia. Okay? And it was the brother's name that was there, crossed out. It says, for being a true man of the Lord, wrongfully accused, but keeps integrity. And this is why it's not a good idea to throw words around. And again, I don't know who wrote this, and I don't really have nothing against him. I don't know him, but he's a brother in the faith, okay? But it's probably not a good idea to just throw words around towards somebody you like and you don't really know them. And I can't say this person know them for sure, but obviously they don't really know what's going on, because you would have to be here in the situation here to know what's going on. Nobody's just going to throw you out of camp, and nobody's going to just throw you aside, because this is what you call a brotherhood without dealing with proper counsel before doing so. Okay? It's not our job to just get mad at people and throw them out. There's a thing called grace and there's a thing called mercy. And this brother was given tons and tons and tons of mercy over and over and over again. And, some brothers just have to grow up. Okay? Goes on to say, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, Waha Rakah Kodash, the Holy Spirit, what he's saying is Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai ain't going to ask what camp you was in when he come back. Did you serve him in sincerity and truth? And that's the key. Of course he's not going to ask what camp you're in. He's going to ask, basically, if you're of the elect, okay, that's going to seal you, okay? But you don't know if you're of the elect. That's why you must have the fear of the Most High. And if you're not following orders, okay, amongst the brotherhood, or you're not being brotherly amongst the brotherhood, then guess what? You're not doing what Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai asks. And that's my whole point. And a lot of you guys, you don't know what's going on, so you just jump in and you take the brother word. And really, that's a stain to the brother that you're supposedly trying to help. Okay? Maybe some brothers need the punishment, and maybe some need to be disciplined, because the disciplinary action in the fold didn't do them any good. Okay? So they may need the discipline that they're supposed to have. Let's go to Proverbs 13:10. It says, only by pride cometh contention, but with the well-advised is wisdom. Okay? And again, this is not against the brother who left the comment. I don't know him. I don't know anything about some brothers. But I will say, me looking at in somebody else's situation, in another situation outside this situation, and I see something going on, and if they handle that in the way that they handle it, because these are all churches, and if in that church somebody gets kicked out of the church, well, yeah, they did something. Now, Jeremiah 10:23 says, man's is not enough to direct our steps. The Most High directs our steps. And if you are innocent, then the Lord will vindicate you in due season. How much more did the Lord have to suffer? Okay? Look at the prophets. They had to suffer. Okay? Behind things that they didn't do wrong, or wasn't a reason to be done wrong. Being stoned, being beheaded, being hung, okay? These are the things we have to suffer. This is all part of the prophecy. This is all part of being men of the Lord. Maybe this is what this tool is used to get the brother up on his feet. They understand that, hey man, I messed up. You could really be taking this glory by doing that, okay? Some Jake has to be punished, okay? And if you're not with the brotherhood, that's a form of a punishment, okay? It ain't, first of all, no man can punish you. Only the Most High does all that. And to be spiritually in tune and knowing the truth, anybody in the truth should know that, okay? It says 1 Peter 2:19, for this is thankworthy if a man for conscience towards Yahweh, okay, endure grief, suffering wrongfully. I hear that thrown out there a lot too. I just suffered wrongfully. I just suffered wrongfully. But yet you're communicating. You're going back and forth and telling people what you did do or didn't do wrong. Now, I'll say this. There is some things that you speak with brothers personally. Okay? That's what you keep between you. But here again, we have this social media. Okay? This social media is a snare and it's a trap for some brothers. Not all brothers, but for some brothers. It's a snare and it's a trap. And it will trap you. Okay? So going back to what the brother said, let's go back here. It says, I'm just doing a short commentary and maybe it'll help brothers. It says, said wrongfully accused but keeps integrity. Okay? So let's not throw words around and we're not really showing integrity. Okay? Let's go to this word integrity. Okay? See, we'll hear it. You'll hear elders throw it out there. You'll hear brothers throw it out there. And then you'll take it. Whoever it is, they'll take it and then they'll use it, you know, in their own personal, you know, maliciously, I'll say that. Or maybe they have sincerity in what they're saying, but they don't understand, okay? Integrity says firm adherence to a code of especially moral or artistic values, incorruptibility, okay? Let's go to this word adherence. And I'll come back to the one that really gets you. It says, the act of action or quality of adhering, steady or faithful attachment. Okay? Let's go back here. It says, an unimpaired conditioned soundness. Okay? Soundness, you know. The quality of state of being complete or undivided. Completeness. Okay, so when you have integrity, you'll have what you call soundness, okay? You will take the low. You know, a part of integrity also is suffering things that you feel that you didn't do wrong. But a good part of integrity is maybe I didn't do this wrong, or maybe I shouldn't have did this, or maybe I should did that, but what is the Lord doing? And why is the Lord doing it? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Why is the Lord doing it? Now, in this brother situation that did get, you know, got kicked out, I warned him several times over and over again, don't do this, don't do that. Brother kept doing this, brother, you know, some brothers are hard-headed, you know, but when you start using social media to say, hey, it wasn't me, I was all right, it wasn't my fault. Then you start making excuses. And then the problem that's underlining the problem that you had at hand, you're really pushing that out of the way. Because the problem goes deeper than what you see on the surface. And maybe this is what's to help a brother get himself together, dig deep into understanding, what am I doing wrong? Okay, because it will also affect your whole quality of life. You know, this truth is about your whole quality of life. Walking in the paths of the Most High. Okay, the Most High and His Son, what He set you up to do. Okay, completeness. Okay, let's go on. 1 Peter 5:6-8. It says, humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Yahweh, that He may exalt you in due time. You got guys that somehow in their life, you know, And this is nothing personal. This is business, the Lord's business. That the social media is an outlet, okay, for a little bit more popularity, a little bit more excitement. And, when I first came into the truth, the first thing you say is, hey, it's brotherhood, it's brotherhood. But amongst being brothers, remember, we all knew, okay? I mean, as far as knowing each other. Some of us are new. Some of us don't know one another. When you let a brother in your home, in your household, it's all good, but you don't know nothing about him. Is he really a brother? You have to figure that out. And there's guys that push the work on their own. There's brothers that do the work on their own. There's guys that do the work in general, and they might do their own thing, because I hear that a lot. But you know what? If you're still under the umbrella of this doctrine, you still have brothers, okay? And you're supposed to conduct yourself in a brotherly manner, okay? It says casting all your care upon him. So you shouldn't be worried about what this person is doing, what that person is doing. Oh, I need to be vindicated. It wasn't my fault. What did I do wrong? All that is, let the Lord deal with it, man. For he careth for you. Be sober. See, what I'm seeing is not, what they say, sobriety. That's not being sober. Be vigilant, being watchful, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. So, when you get these weaknesses and you get these things and you go back and forth on social media and you're going back and forth, this devil, he's taking tabs, he's setting things up, Me personally, I'm not a social media person. I don't deal with it. That's just my personal belief. I don't have to, But if there's brothers who do that, who's seasoned in that, there's certain brothers who are able to deal with that, okay? Because they've been in the truth a while, they know one another, and they know what's going on. But some of you guys, some of you brothers, you don't know what's going on. And I know it may sound offensive, but I'm just going to be honest, because I've seen this cause several problems in the truth, okay? You got people in the world that cause problems too. How much more in the truth is that going to cause problems with, okay? Because then what happens, you get to the busybody and this brother this and this brother that. And we know people have personal matters going on. But when these personal matters being thrown around all through social media, and you know how rumors get, it go to one person to say one thing, go to another. Then by the time it get back to you, a catastrophic event had happened. And nothing really happened. Okay, you get the point. First Peter 4:15. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer. Okay, don't suffer as a murderer, thief, or even an evildoer, or as a busybody. Is a busybody in other men's matters. Okay, you have no business doing that. Just being honest, you have no business doing that. Certain things require certain measures if it's affecting the brother's overall health or life and the truth. Yeah, that's not busybody. You're trying to help save his soul. But when you're going back and forth between the churches, okay, and there's an order that went out, and something came down the pike. It's not like a lot of these men in these churches really want to just throw people out. And if they are, then they're wicked. That's not what this is about, okay? But unless you know the whole matter at hand, stop making assumptions. Stop assuming, making assumptions, and understanding the whole matter. It's really not your business at that point, okay? And if you are the person who is this done to, you're the one responsible, because you're telling these people everything, okay? And you shouldn't do that, okay? You shouldn't do that. That personal stuff, that's a stumbling block to Jake. Social media is a stumbling block to Jake, okay? Your life with your brothers, your life here, your life is of the Lord. Your job is strictly do the Lord's work, push the work out there, man. That's your job. Wake up the elect, push the work, push prophecies, tell what's going on in the prophecies, But that's what happens when a lot of that busybodying starts, you know what I'm saying? That's my personal take on it. All that back and forth and, this and that and all this going around and shaloming brothers that you don't even know if they brothers. There was guys that posed to be in the camp and they wasn't ever even in the camp. I witnessed that too. Not even in the camp, and brother shaloming them. This is the same behavior I see when spectators come up and they standing on the outside and they cursing out Esau and they not even in the camp. Okay, that's a person to watch. You got to get wise with that, man. And really, brothers should be wise in watching brothers like that, okay? That's all I have on that. I just wanted to make that point. It's nothing personal. It's business. And I still love, I love all the brothers, That's in sincerity and truth. That's what it's about. That's all I have on that. Shalom.
And that's just it, though, is, my main reasons for getting off the social media is just because, man, you got too many terrorists coming in anyways, and you just, we already deal with Esau out there, on its own. You gotta have integrity also when you're out there, because of course, you're not gonna curse everyone out that's an Edomite. As well as I do, they're trying to shut this thing down anyways, That's why the police are like, hey, man, we see what you're doing, but any outrage or anything, man, So, you can't be emotional with this. And then just getting into other articles, this one shouldn't come as a surprise to us, being a watchman, watching the things going on. U.S. military rejects Iraqi demand, offers partial withdrawal. They're just going to partially withdraw because, of course, they'll never give up Iraq. After all, they, pretty much created ISIS, so that way they can pretty much stay in. The U.S. military has offered senior Iraqi officials plans for a partial withdrawal of troops from Iraq, reneging on an earlier promise to leave the Arab country. Online news website Middle East Eye reports. It cited unnamed sources as saying that a meeting was held in great secrecy between the two sides in the private residence of the Canadian ambassador to Jordan in Amman last week. A representative of the U.S. military told the Iraqis that Washington was prepared to leave positions in or near Shia majority areas, such as Baal Air Base, which houses U.S. terrorists about 80 kilometers of Baghdad. The Iraqis were told that Washington could even consider reducing its terrorist troops in the capital, Baghdad, the report said. However, the United States categorically dismissed withdrawing from Ain al-Assad, the biggest U.S. airbase in the Anbar province. We can't even start talking about withdrawing from Ain al-Assad. Withdrawal is out of the question, the U.S. terrorists said. An al-Assad airbase came under missile fire from Iran last month, which you and I both know that was ISIS, in response to the U.S. assassination of the Iranian commander Qasem Soleimani, and the second in command, Iraqi's popular mobilization units, Abu Mahdi al-Manhans at Baghdad International Airport on January 3rd. About 5,300 American terrorists are deployed across Iraq. 2 days after the assassination, the Iraqi parliament approved a motion calling for the withdrawal of all American terrorists. Later on January 9, former Iraqi Prime Minister Abdul al-Mahdi calling on the United States to dispatch a delegation to Baghdad tasked with formulating a mechanism for the move. So they're just refusing to leave because these terrorists, which rightfully so, don't want to leave because that's what they do, is they occupy and they steal, kill, and destroy. This is Great Satan. That's why America's called Great Satan. And, as you know already what's been going on in Syria, that pretty much there now has been clashes between the Syrian government and the United States, direct war. And the people are being told to leave, and they don't want to leave. Same thing going on in Syria. President Bashar al-Assad receives Lajani renews Syrian people's determination to liberate all Syrian territory from terrorism. President Bashar al-Assad on Sunday received a delegation from the Iranian Shura Council headed by its speaker, Ali Lajani. During the meeting, the success achieved by the Syrian Arab Army and its allies in the war against terrorist organizations in Idlib and Aleppo were reviewed, and congratulations were exchanged over the recent victories against terrorism that led some Western countries on the top, the United States, to escalate their hostile stances towards Syria and Iran. And don't forget, the people telling America to leave, America opened fire. You can see that from the Russian patrol who filmed the incident. You saw the U.S. terrorists shooting at the Syrian civilians that told America to leave. President Bashar al-Assad said the countries hostile to the Syrian people are still trying to protect terrorists who take civilians as hostages and human shields, stressing that this cannot be allowed to continue at the expense of the life, security, and stability of the citizens. And again, American terrorists were also shooting at the civilians. He affirmed that the Syrian people are determined to liberate all Syrian territories from terrorism. For his part, Lajani affirmed his country's continued support for Syria in its efforts to eliminate terrorism on all its territories, stressing the importance of the recent victories against the terrorists. He expressed his confidence in the ability of the Syrian people to complete the liberation of all their lands and restore Syria's position in the region. The meeting also discussed developments in the region and on the international arena in the light of the policy of spreading chaos and destabilization pursued by the Western countries led by the United States. Both sides agreed on the need for joint action to expand the circle of countries that reject these policies and cooperate with them in order to not allow the world to be drawn into more wars. The meeting also touched upon the strategic relations between the two countries, including the parliamentary ones, and the importance of strengthening these relations, which have been proven to be essential to protect the two countries and achieve the interests of their people. And this went in from Zero Hedge, because Zero Hedge was one of the first to actually call it as it is, a bioweapon. The Geopolitics of Biological Weapons, Part 2, Efficiency and Development. There's another good article here. It should be apparent that the launching of biowarfare as with conventional welfare is considerably eased by locating military bases of offensive weapons and delivery systems as physically close as possible to one potential enemies. This is one reason the U.S. has established its nearly 1,000 foreign military bases to ensure the capability of putting an enemy under attack within 30 minutes anywhere in the world. Yes, strategically doing so. Clearly, the same strategy applies to biological warfare. The U.S. military have been creating scores of these labs, euphemistically defined as motherfuckers. Where is it? Defined as health security infrastructure in foreign countries. It is frightening to learn that many of these foreign bio installations are classified as so top secret they are outside the knowledge and control of even the local governments in the nations which they are built. It also frightening to learn that Ebola outbreaks all occurred in close proximity to several of these well-known and top-secret U.S. bioweapon labs in Africa. So, who's creating viruses? Who's spreading the disease? These goddamn fucking Edomites. These were great fears a few years ago when American terrorists recreated the Spanish flu virus that killed around 50 million people in 1918. They spent 9 years on this effort before succeeding, and now large quantities of the virus are stored in a high-security government laboratory in Atlanta. More recent terrorists have created a mutated super strain of this deadly H5N1 bird flu virus that is directly transmissible among humans and would have at least 50% kill rate, spawning fears in 2005 of a global pandemic that would kill hundreds of millions. So you can see who the real terrorists are and who's using chemical weapons, who's using bioweapons. The United Snakes. But they want to convince you that Assad is using them. Right. Who creates these diseases? Who has these med labs? Do you see any of these things in Syria? No, but you see them all over the United Snakes and its so-called allies, which eventually are going to hate the whore and burn her with fire. In late 2013, more than 50 of the world's most eminent terrorists securely created the research. I don't call them scientists, I call them terrorists. Ron Fuscher and colleagues of the Erasmus Medical Center in Rotterdam, who have been developing mutant varieties of H5N1 bird flu virus that are far more dangerous to humans. The scientists wrote that the research was designed to make the virus fully transmissible between humans and clearly had a dual civil military function. The engineered flu could kill half the world's population, and not by accident. The U.S. military funded the research with more than $400 million. So now you can see, though, that pretty much, though, this was all manufactured by the United States. And this is one of the websites that actually goes into it. And that's why you don't see them on Twitter anymore. You know, again, this biowarfare is definitely a way to make the mark of the beast mandatory by creating these centers, which they've already been setting up. Which leads me here, it's happening. The elect are being gathered, and eventually we will be up in that chariot, and our accuser is being cast down. You can see, though, that our accuser, Esau, the Edomites, are being cast down. More and more people are leaving the so-called church and actually getting into what we're teaching. That is, claiming their heritage of being an Israelite and trying to get right. And this scares the shit out of Esau, and that's why they want to accuse us, call us terrorists, call us Black Hebrew Israelites, that's a name, call us black extremist groups, which we are none of those things, and we're not affiliated with those that call themselves black extremists. No, we're not, and me being an Israelite foreigner that is, not looking like, the other Israelites, but on a technicality, we're all Israelite foreigners because we're not in our land yet, although there are some that are, but we're not in our place, though. We're not, we don't have a kingdom as of yet, but we're speaking of the kingdom to come on earth as it is in heaven. In other words, we're speaking of those things with a loud voice. Revelation chapter 12, verse 10, and it reads, "And I heard with a loud voice saying in heaven, Now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Hamashiach, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night." And you can see that, we're casting down the stumbling blocks. And they overcome him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. They not love their lives unto the death. No, man, we hate this fucking place, and we will say this, that pretty much, though, that even if we must die, we're dying every day in this fucking place, man. We're not in a righteous kingdom. This place sucks, man, in every way possible. So, yeah, we love not our lives. We're just in the waiting room, and we're watching our enemies, pretty much befall. We're watching the fall of our enemies. "Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and them that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." And that's why he's coming down, and now there's so many rules about YouTube, and you're seeing channels getting taken out. But this word has already gone out, and, well, we know who the dragon is. That's the power structure of Esau Edom. When the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child, that is the nation Yasharallah, who brought forth Hamashiach, Yahushai. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she had nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. And again, pretty much, though, we know that we're now come out, and, well, eventually we will be off the streets. There is a famine coming. You know, again, you know, jumping down. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, that is, the elect of us, which keep the commandments of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. And that's what we're doing, though. You know, we're teaching Yahweh Shai. We're not teaching sweet Jesus. You know, we're teaching the real one. And this is what's scaring them, because a lot of people are leaving that so-called 501c3 church, and they're now getting involved with Israelite camps. This is what the devil has feared, and now has great wrath against us. So, hope all this has been edifying. Like everything else, though, you know, you just got to be careful. You know, we, you know, said there would be no new members joining Great Millstone because we had already had many tears. There's too many bug outs, you know. Apostle Tahar had declared that, and look at what's happening now. You know, as of December 10 last year, you know, there would be changes to YouTube, and you can see that there is, you know, and been moving a lot of videos over to Daily Motion because that might be where we get our daily bread. You know, it's going to happen sooner than later. So get this while you still can. For that, I want to say Bracha Yahweh, Bracha Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Wa Abba Babal. Brakatham Yehovah Elect. Shalom.